Yes, Dr. Rex, you can start now.
Yes, sir. Good morning, dear learners. Ms. Navya.
Morning, sir.
Yes. So today we are going to look into the block of MDI James report, that is Indian Diaspora and Women. Yesterday we were looking into MDI James report, that is an introductory note to diaspora community. So today we will do the pre-colonial period. That's what we are discussing a little bit earlier in yesterday's class too. We were discussing on the pre-independent period.
Yes.
So the learning objectives of this particular block in this unit is to know about the Southeast Asia as a region. So when it comes to Southeast Asia, how this migration took place in the pre-colonial period, and understand the origin of Indian immigration to Southeast Asia and their cultural influence in the region. How Indians' rich culture has influenced the Southeast Asia. How it has impact on the trade and how the government in the pre-colonial period has taken those into consideration. As well as we also learn comprehend the cultural base of Indian immigration and spread of Buddhism and Hinduism in that region. And we will also describe the cultural exchange through trade and commerce between India and Southeast Asia in pre-colonial period, elaborate the role and influence of migrants and diasporas. So when you understand the pre-colonial period, it is before the independence as well as before the colonial period. So means before the people of the British, before they come here,
Yes.
how was our relationship in Southeast Asia and how this immigration has taken place, right? So when you say Southeast Asia, the countries we need to understand when you say Southeast Asia, right? Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, right? Philippines, Singapore,
Yes.
Thailand, Timor-Leste, and Vietnam, right? So these are countries where we are going to look into today. So how are trading in those countries? So this is what the important aspects that we are going to speak and how our trading system is all about. Right?
Okay, sir.
So India and Southeast Asia, and we look into this, have numerous. Have visited Malaysia. You can find a big temple, Murugan temple. Even we cannot find such a big statue. Even in India, probably not that kind of atmosphere in the hill. They have Murugan statue in Malaysia, where a lot of people go and worship there, and the thing is there. So Asian culture has influenced the South Asian countries, right? So
Yes, sir.
over the centuries, various aspects of the Indian culture have influenced the life and civilization of the people living in Southeast Asia. So India has a rich culture in those areas, right? You see some temples in Vietnam, Malaysia here, and overall you can find. And the cultural influence gradually become predominant among these countries because a lot of people migrate from here to there and form a diaspora community, and they have the much belief in their goddess, so they start constructing and influencing those people to construct, provide the place for them, and all those things are able to influence the government of those countries. This is what is necessary to understand for us the background of how the people who migrated from India to other Southeast Asian countries, almost six or this are almost 10 countries would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 countries are considered as Southeast Asian, East Asian countries. How these people of India are able to influence, and what is the story behind it, right? So Southeast Asia as a region, you say Southeast Asia, it consists of 11 countries, which is generally divided into mainland and island, right? So these 11
Yes, sir.
zones are divided into mainland and island. So the mainland, you see this to 5 countries, including Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand, and Burma, and other countries are the island countries, right? Sorry,
Yes, sir.
the island countries. So the mainland is characterized by a series of generally north-south trending mountain. So ranges separated by a number of major river valleys and associated hills. So if you find Thailand, Burma, and Cambodia and Vietnam, you find lot of north-south trending mountain. That means the people of north from India, they will move high to those countries. So the island and maritime Southeast Asia includes Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, and Philippines, and other Brunei and the new nation East Timor. It's formerly part of Indonesia now, are from Southeast Asian countries, right? So the people move.
Yes.
Probably, if you take Malaysia and Singapore, you find a lot of Tamil people, Indonesia even, you find a lot of Tamil people over there because of this region are very near to those countries, right? So, in right, you see that Indian in Southeast Asia, it is an important feature of contemporary Southeast Asia in the presence of Indian minorities in every country of this region, right? So you see
Yes,
here
sir.
a lot of lot of people are as a minorities in those Southeast Asian countries. Because one thing is, it is very near to India. At the same time, people in pre-colonial period able to reach over there uh, through sea, right? They traveled where
Yes, sir.
it was easy for them to go. So the religious connectedness and Indian culture influence on art, literature, and architecture without supplanting the indigenous cultural values. You see in Malaysia, I visited Malaysia. I was there for 7 days. There are certain places where the names of those places are influenced by our own language, right? Tamil, Telugu, those languages are
Yes, sir.
influenced, and the name itself it denotes. And secondly, there are places or the Malaysia or somewhere where were ruled by the kings of India, right? So there is a rich culture because it's very nearby, right? So you can also I will send the PPT to sir, and you can see the QR code, and you find a lot of reading related to India and Southeast Asia for your further reading that I have attached. And
Okay, sir.
you find here Indian population in Southeast Asia in 21st century. So you see here in non-resident Indians, that is NRI, and persons
Yes.
of Indian origins, that is PIOS, and total, you find here there are around 61 lakhs people living in these 11 countries who are all from India, right? So you find
Yes.
Myanmar, Malaysia, almost half of the total populations are in both countries, right? Even in
Yes.
Singapore, you find uh, there are huge amount, and Thailand and Indonesia, where other countries are sharing the bigger part. The reason behind this probably the adoption of those countries, so they don't have much rules and regulations, and the economy of this country, like Singapore, right?
Yes,
And the kind of Indonesia, Thailand, people go uh, and migrate. The reason the Myanmar and Indonesia are only sharing the 4% and less than 0.5% of the total population respectively. And this is the picture, the data that we have about how many people are living those Southeast Asian countries. Very, very important data to speak on the current situation of the Indian population over there. And situation of Indian diaspora, right? So how Indian
yes, sir.
diaspora are looked into by those countries, right? You see here yesterday, if you have watched the news, around 2 lakhs people of or from Afghanistan are forced
Yes, sir.
to evacuate from Iran, or forced to evacuate from Iran. They are pushed go out of the country of Iran, all from Afghanistan. They were many were in the desert right now. Don't know what to do. The reason behind is uh, the Iran suspect that people of Afghanistan are betraying their country, and they are the one who were passing the information from Iran, the information of Iran army and other things to US, right? So on that suspect, this they were all forced to move out of that country. And the news stated that it is in the history, the UN, United Nation Organization, UNO, has said that this is the biggest evacuation that had happened in the history, right? People are forced to migrate, forced not migrate, forced to move out of those countries. Okay, this is the biggest in
Yes,
the
sir.
country, because at the same time 2 lakhs people are forced, and they were killed if they are not moving from that country, right? So this is what, when some war happens, the migration also takes place, right? So situation of Indian diaspora in Malaysia, the new economic policy of 1970 adversely affected the Indian community, right? So the new economic
Yes,
policy stated that probably giving the jobs only to Malaysian people, not those who are migrated or something. The Chinese are there. So this is the country of mixed of various immigrants into the country. So the new economic policy is adversely affected the Indian community. And in
yes,
Singapore, where Indians are well represented, in Singapore is the country of Indians are highly respectful and very, very a good position in their politics and the bureaucrats. You find some of the prominent persons of Indian origin, including former President late S.R. Nathan and late S.R. Rajaratnam, are influential personality in the politics of Singapore.
yes, sir.
Were the president of that country, right? And Myanmar, ethnic Indians have no social and political or economic clout, right? And nationalization policy implemented by the government led to an exodus of Indians on a large scale. In uh, and taken, they are all the secondary citizens of that country. So you find two ways of the countries looking into, right? And Singapore
Yes, sir.
is taking care. Singapore is okay for the Indian citizens, and Malaysia and Myanmar are taking the Indians as a second citizens, or not giving the privilege in the country. So you find here,
Yes.
so that in Singapore the population is high of Indians. So the political situation of the country is the main, main kind of take the politics of the country is very important of the people before they migrate to the country, right? They will look
Yes,
into
sir.
the political situation of the country, so that you find in Myanmar also uh, there is a 20 lakh or around 20 lakhs people there, but the country takes that action. In Malaysia, around 29 lakhs people are there. The country takes action on it because
Yes, sir.
they feel that these people are looting our amount, looting our money, right? Sometimes you find that the governments of internal migrants take some steps. People of other states should not migrate into my country, into my state. It is happening. But you
Yes, sir.
see, the government takes through policies, putting them into pressure, right?
Yes.
You find a cultural base of immigration, right? Culture, what is culture?
Sorry, sir. Did you ask something?
What is culture?
So, so culture is shared values and beliefs of people that are passed on from their heritage. Something that they believe in, and yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
So it is passed on, right? So
Yes,
the
sir.
culture base of immigration is that's uh, that's what we are going to discuss now. When you say cultural base of immigration, means that based on your culture, based on your identity, you start the so that was patterns of thought and behavior of people, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a patterns of thought. And not only the culture means outside what we, as we wear sari, we speak language, we celebrate some festivals. It's it's an output of our culture. But internally we think the pattern of thought, the behavior, it's a culture. It is so the
Yes,
beliefs,
sir.
the rules of contact, right? So how my marriage system should, how the marriage system of my family should go about, right? What I have to wear and how my rituals should be. It's all and the rules of conduct, how I am calling on another person, right? How I am relating with another person, right? The rules of conduct, the patterns
Yes,
of
sir.
social, political, economic organizations, all speaks of our culture. So these are based on from one generation to the next by formal as well as informal process. As you have said, it is from one generation to another.
Yes, sir.
You see the other side, it's a material culture and non-material culture. When you say material culture, you find that we use cell phones, we use TVs.
Yes, sir.
If you ask our parents, they might have read newspaper to know about everything. If we have asked our grandparents, then it's something different in their times to get the news, right? Those are all
Yes, sir.
materialistic culture. We use some vessels now. Before
Yes, sir.
they might have used pot. Now we are using cylinder, gas cylinder. Before it was something else. It's all materialistic culture. Uh, that means the transformation of the material culture is go very fast. Okay, but
Yes,
when
sir.
you say non-material culture, it is a beliefs, it is a rules, customs. So this will not change rapidly as like a material culture. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
material culture, the difference between the material culture and non-material culture is called cultural lag, LAG, cultural lag. Okay, the higher the difference, there will be a social problem, right?
Yeah.
So because so that now there are a lot of offenses is happening, sexual offenses is happening. The researchers say because of the difference between the material culture and non-material culture, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have cell phones and everything. You all, and the non-material culture is same. You believe, you have customs, your family system and capital. You capitalist economy or all those things, you don't come out of it, but you go very fast in adopting the material culture. When you do this, we will have a lot of social problems, so that it should be cut short. That the difference
Yes.
of this should be matched, so that, or it should not go very heavily to reduce the cultural problem. So the difference between these two is considered as a cultural lag, right? uh, And you see here, what is
Yes, sir.
the other side, the flight name, Garuda,
Sir.
Indonesia.
Yes, sir.
Are you able to read?
Yes,
So
sir.
the term Garuda is Indian culture name. Am I right? Some god,
Yes, sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
Garuda means what? I don't know. Garuda.
Sir, I guess it's a Ramayana
Eagle.
reference where
Yeah.
I don't really know the proper gist,
The
but it's a
Garuda means, I
Ramayana
think
reference.
it's, yeah, it is eagle. I think Garuda. I
Yes.
think so. Garuda means that one. But the Indonesian flight name is Garuda Indonesia,
Yes, sir.
right? You see the how this term has the culture of Indian culture has impact even 21st century, right? Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is the temple in Indonesia or somewhere, but the Southeast Asian countries, this the other side of it. So they have the temple. So you
Yes, sir.
find there are, see, this Agarwat temple complex, Cambodia. Okay, so here
Yes,
the
sir.
temple, it is in Cambodia, where the references of Hindu philosophical ideas and Vedic religions and Puranic and epic myths and legends and all prominent Hindu divinities and ideas are there in other countries, right? Worshipped,
Yes, sir.
Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are worshipped together with the satellite gods and goddess. The images of gods combined together is through Trumurti, as well as the image of composite god Shiva and Vishnu are found in Java and Composer. That is what uh, in Cambodia, right? You find how
Yes,
beautifully they have
sir.
constructed the temple in Cambodia, right? So this is an evident. This is an example or the evidence that how far the Indian migrants have influence on the other Southeast Asian countries. You cannot find in other parts as like how we have influenced Southeast Asian countries, right?
Yes, sir.
And you find the cultural exchange through trade and commerce. So, how this cultural exchange might happen is only the philosophy, the historical evidence says that it is only through trade and commerce, right? People try to trade. People try to trade, make business in other countries. By doing that, they have transmitted their culture, heritage, and beliefs. Okay. So
Yes,
India during Gupta period was a land of richness, and people possessed great skills at weaving textiles. We know that, crafting gold, jewelry, and all those things.
yes, sir.
So there was a much demand for Indian goods and trade between India and Southeast Asia, which was a reason as a land of spices and rice growing, fertile lands and flourished. So we have this kind of art, sculpture, and everything. So people are in need of our goods, especially the
Yes,
the
sir.
textiles, right? The way we craft, with the way we have pattu sarees and all those things are all on demand by the Southeast Asian people, and especially the
Yes, sir.
spices. We have rich spices, right? Uh, I was attending one of the workshops by the Agriculture University, and the professor was discussing, and he went to US. Uh, he said that during his talk, during the workshop, when he was in US, he met a person who was at the age of 95 or something. And that person is one of the members of the particular committee, where that committee head had received the Nobel Prize for something, economy or something like that. But he was also the member of that
Okay.
particular committee. And at the age of 90, he met and wished them, and he is still a professor. In US and all, you can be a professor till we have the expertise. And he said
Okay.
to him that you should follow the Indian food culture. It has high level of richness, and the food culture is good. Means we have a good culture of taking all the calories of equally, right? So now, but
Yes,
nowadays
sir.
it's also polluted due to we are changing into fast food, the pizza, burger, and all those things. But see, you people see in a person in abroad, especially in US, saying that we have a good rich culture of food, and he also
Yes, sir.
uh, the other person who went to US has said people won't screen the mobile always. They won't. He said that they never screen the mobile. If they are found that they are free, then they will sleep or they will eat food or they will take a sleep or they will do some recreational activities. But he observed that they are not at all screening the mobile.
Yes, sir.
See, look at how they are doing. And he said that there was 2 hours. The 10 o'clock, the flight was delayed in the morning. They said that the flight will come at 3 p.m. in the evening. And what we do, Indians, we will go and we search for purchasing or something like that, and we go out. We will be restless and we will curse. And what they have said, what the American US people, they take a pillow and they just slept on the floor, the corner of the floor.
Yes,
They just put a window and the family, they just kids and everything. They slept. They got up and took the flight, and this was their culture and everything. This for kind of how they are taking their time, how they are using the time. That is very very important. So
yes,
uh,
sir.
the thing is here, the richness of our culture. We are actually diluting it, especially in the food, right? We are going for more
Yes,
kind of
sir.
Western culture in terms of food, which is not good for our health. And so there was a much demand for Indian goods and trade between Indian and Southeast Asia. That's what the kind of it's a big it's the stage where the culture has been exchanged, right? And influence of migrants and diasporas. So diaspora of any country provides a human dimension to the links between two countries. In one of the studies of Nevar in 2006, he stated diaspora of any country provides a human dimensions to the links between two countries. So they have a unique role in international relations because they find themselves in between two countries, sharing the two cultures, having an emotional investment in two nations, and preventing social connections into societies. So
Yes, sir.
when these two countries, when these two people are coming together, right? So you are making the link between two countries. If I am going to Zambia or any of the African countries or any countries is a matter, I am
Yes, sir.
knowingly or unknowingly bringing the link between two countries, right? So the money transaction, the cultural transaction, everything speaks of my country as well as the host country. That's what these two
Yes, sir.
predominant persons on the research, they saying that they have a unique role in international relations because they find themselves in between two countries, sharing in two cultures, having an emotional investment in two nations. That's the words are very, very important. And preserving social connections into two societies, right? So you bring
Yes,
people, you visit, you have connections, some will get married there and settled, right? And we use their money and everything. It has some emotional investment too. So you get good friends over there, right? The culture is
yes,
different.
sir.
So you exchange your culture, you ask them to cook food for you, and you one day you cook. So these are
Yes,
all the things where in immigration takes place. There is an influence of migrants and diasporas. So diaspora is an economic, cultural, political, and emotional and social investment. Very, very important. It is not only when we say a person is abroad, my son is abroad, my wife is abroad, or something like that. We say that only we tend to see is an economic aspect alone,
yes,
right? Because we feel if someone says to me that my brother is abroad in US, suddenly what we think he may be earning 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs per month or something like that. But
yes,
beyond that, there is a cultural kind of investment also is going on. And in US, political aspects, Indians are playing a vital role, right? They also sit and decide, and they also speak to the government. What are the policies need to be framed, right? So how far
yes, sir.
Indians, the population as well as how far they are able to influence the government in terms of bringing the policy and everything. So with the knowledge they are sharing, as well as a strength, the total population, or something that also is taken into consideration for their contribution to the political aspects. And we see emotional and social investment, right? So emotionally,
Yes, sir.
we will say I was there 10 years in one country, so that country has supported me a lot, and that kind of emotional bondage with their people, right? And social investments means
Yes, sir.
contributing. So for example, you from there and you sit and you be an alumni of the school, you probably studied in a school which is in the rural community, and you want to do some social investment, right? You contribute some money to for bringing the society into the school, and you construct a road, you give money for establishing infrastructure or something like that. This is a kind of a social investment also you bring into. So the cultural linkage is based on people between two countries, helps in opening several channels of communication between, right? So you open even as an individual, if you are a diaspora person, open a several channels for communication between the two countries, right? So
Yes,
that
sir.
is very, very important. So next, this is the influence on migration and everything. Uh, After we look into the Central Asia, right? So
Yes, sir.
understand the historical sense of Central Asia, comprehend the migration patterns of Indian merchants, familiarize with the distinctives of Indian diaspora in Central Asia, know about various crucial institutions relating to Indian diaspora, appreciate the achievements of Indian diaspora in Central Asia, and analyze the decline of the Indian diaspora in Central Asia. So this is what the main learning objectives of the unit 36, which speaks about Central Asia. So far, we have seen Southeast Asian countries, right? Do you have any doubt
Yes, sir.
regarding? Do you have any doubt?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yes, sir.
So Central Asia. So the pre-colonial migration, Central Asia region covers 5 countries, including Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and
Yes,
Uzbekistan. So something like so. These are the countries. Uh, Primary focus would be on a pre-colonial migration, right?
Yes, sir.
when we are also going to use the term Turan in the unit. Turan term comprises modern Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and northern part of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Right? So these countries are called Turan. So how the migration in the pre-colonial period in those countries? All those countries are uh, countries of Muslim dominant or countries where the Muslim people live, uh, more population belong to Muslim community, right? So broader
Yes, sir.
definition of Central Asia has been used in the unit that includes former Soviet republics of these countries, right?
Hmm. Yes, sir.
Let us look into the map. So this is a map displaying trade routes. So Indian diaspora in Central Asia trade. So people move all those this countries, right? So these are the areas where the Indian people have moved. And historical dimensions of the Indian diaspora, specifically in case of pre-colonial migration, the Indian diaspora in the Central Asia regions can be captured under the merchant diaspora category. That means it is fully for trade, right? So they have moved
Yes, sir.
for the purpose of the trade
Trade.
and emerging into Indo-Iranian cultural and commercial contacts. The word Multani owes its origin from today's industrial town located in the southern part of Punjab province of Pakistan that indicates the historical connection between. Have you heard this term Multanis?
Yes, sir.
Multanis are Multani is the owner, the industrialist, or the person who is a kind of having a lot of business and all those things, right? So here,
Yes, sir.
so the Indian diaspora, especially uh, in Central Asia, they have a lot of they have gone into the purpose of the uh, trade. That is very, very important. Where the consideration of their uh, thing is only for the trade. So the dominance of the Indian diaspora in the Central Asia is we need to look into consideration. What is the purpose? So the Indian diaspora into the Central Asia, right? So the dominance. What are
Yes, sir.
the dominant characteristics they have? They gone there. Just
So
a minute.
commercially driven, I guess.
Very good commercial
Commercially driven and trade oriented are the
trade
main
oriented. Correct.
aspects.
But the dominance of Indian diaspora in Central Asia, according to Scott C. Levy, there are three reasons behind the dominance of the Indian merchants diaspora, right? Uh, they are the money lenders, right? Indian
Okay.
merchants
Okay.
diaspora in money lending trade in Central Asia. They are in money lending
Trade.
trade. Okay, I'll attend a call and I will join just okay.
Okay, sir.
Oh, sorry for it.
Dr. Rest, is it over?
No, sir, no, sir. We are continuing.
No,
It's
your
not
Okay, sir.
over.
PPT
It's
is,
not over. It's not over.
but your PPT is not visible.
Not visible.
Yes.
Uh,
What about
it is
Navi?
vis-
It's not
no,
visible,
sir.
Navi.
It is visible to me.
Oh,
Okay. All right. So the dominance of Indian diaspora in the Central Asia, it is for money lending. But why they have done a money lending? That is very, very important. The first one is assimilation of trade with money lending. What do they have assimilation? Indian merchants diaspora in Turan and elsewhere combined trans-regional trade with money lending business. It gave Indian merchants to an edge in society and business, right? So the
Yes.
assimilation, that means they started bringing the people together that trade with money lending business. So they started their trade with the money lending business. That is their beginning. It gave Indian merchants an edge in society and business. So they are able to
Yes, sir.
be a bigger person in the society. Normally, in the street, one who is money lending, if I go and ask
Yes,
for
sir.
money, even though he is not in my uh, village person or a town person, he is from outside, even though he has given 1 lakh rupees, lended me money, he is a boss for me. Am I right? So,
Yes,
through
sir.
this, it brought the edge to the Indian merchants. They are the big shots in the society. And they started money lending because the first one, assimilation of trade. Second is a cultural sanction, right? Monotheistic
Yes.
religion, including Christianity and Islam, prohibit money lending business for earning interest, right?
Okay.
So normally in Islam and Christianity, the holy book says that they should not involve in money lending,
Yes, sir.
right? But in Indian religions, text validated the money lending business to earn interest of certain communities. So certain communities have the religious, they are not, the religion is not prohibiting money lending. You take
Yes, sir.
example of Marwadis. Their business is money lending. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So here money lending is not a issue. So, but the hosting country where they were there, Islamic countries or East Asian countries, money lending is prohibited. So this cultural sanction opened the door for them to involve in money lending. So they were called a commercial caste whose profit-oriented activities were sanctified under the broader concept of dharma, right? So here
Yes, sir.
Indian culture says that is like a dharma. It resulted in the development of positive attitude for moneylenders and money lending business in the society of in East Asian countries. And third, India is a agrarian economy. India's large agrarian economy requires several industries for its sustenance and growth. So these industries
Yes.
require trustworthy rural credit for progress. So it reinforced cultural sanction, ultimately leading to the accumulation of vast amount of capital wealth, so that they involved in money lending. Okay, so this money lending business started. They involved in it because to bring lot of money, and due to that they are considered as a big charts in the uh, society of where they were, right?
Yes, sir.
And Indian diaspora distinct characteristics. Okay, the dominance of the Indian diaspora in the Central Asia, religious dimensions of the Indian diaspora, and socio-economic dimensions of the Indian diaspora. So this we have to see the distinct characteristics of Indian diaspora, right? So
Yes, sir.
what is the dominance of uh, Indian diaspora? How they were uh, looked into in other countries. That is the questions when we look into the consideration of how Indians were there in the other countries, right?
Yes, sir. For
This is the first.
example,
Mm,
Afghanistan,
mm,
Afghanistan and India's relations are really good because of the dominance of Indian diaspora.
exactly, exactly. Where?
So Afghanistan.
Okay, what happens in Afghanistan?
Sir, actually, our Bollywood and a lot of economy related aids that we helped them in previous years
Okay.
uh, made our connections with them really good. So the general masses there really respect Indians, and there have been a surge of people going there, tourists, and they have been documenting this that Afghanistanis are really, really good towards Indian tourists.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is how I got to know. Yes, sir.
Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Go through this type of news and share it in my class so that I'll also learn. Right. So this is what is
Okay, sir.
happening in Bangladesh, the other side. Now the minorities over there are prosecuted. Right. You see, a
Yes,
few
sir.
days back, the Hindu temples and the Hindus were need to be safeguarded. A lot of voice in Bangladesh is happening. Right. So this is what
Yes,
the
sir.
diaspora communities situations across and how they are tackling, the government is intervening into it, that we need to study, right? So we have
Yes,
seen
sir.
the first that dominance of Indian diaspora in Central Asia through money lending, right? So how through
Yes,
money lending they were able to dominate there and the religious dimensions of Indian diaspora, right? So
yes, sir.
it even you see that when you say religious dimension of Indian diasporas, we have lot of Hindus were permitted to practice their religious traditions over there. Okay, so
Okay.
like evidence of makeshift temple rooms with a small altar having a stone sculpture of Hindu deities used to be seen in the Indian uh, people were located, right? So even though it's a Muslim country, they were allowed to practice. And for Indians, religion had been a utmost importance, and religious rituals we know that helped them to feel attached to their homeland, even they are far away places, right? So
Yes, sir.
this made them and Indian religiously they are very conservative society, right? So religiously we are very conservative. So how these religious dimensions of Indian diaspora has been established in those countries, that we need to study. uh, like for examples, religious when you say in 1617 itself, Vitro della Wall wrote in that Indian diaspora in Iran and their aversion to slaughter cows, right? In 1617,
Yes, sir.
right? Indian diaspora, they were in Iran, but they have the aversion towards slaughtering cows, killing the cows, because
Yes, sir.
for the Hindus it's holy, and for them it is different culture, right? So this form of
Yes,
taking
sir.
our things in other countries, considering all those things, is very difficult for them. But how they cope up with all those things, that is a question. And now we found a lot of temples and over there, right? So, Indian diaspora community for their livelihood and did not participate in any commercial activities, right? And they more involved
Okay.
in kind of bringing rich cultures, and they were able to practice their religious cultures or ethnic cultures with the approval of the government in a small way, right? Even though they are in other countries where they are very minor. Okay, both
Yes,
sides
sir.
should be appreciated because the country also is allowing and they are also are able to influence the uh, government too, right? And we
Yes,
look
sir.
into the socio-economic dimensions of the Indian diaspora. When you say socio-economic, what do you mean by socio-economic?
So social aspects and the economic aspects together, the
What are the
interlinkage
social?
between the two.
Can you give me the social
So,
aspects?
so social aspects would entail the society and how people treat Indian diaspora there.
Hmm.
What is the general sentiment about them? Uh, Everything related to the society. Whereas economic aspect would entail commercial and trade benefits
Very
of Indian diaspora there. Everything related to the economy.
When you say socio-economic, we have social entity. For example, normally, uh, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a Christian, I am a Muslim, I am a Hindu. These are all social.
Yes, sir.
But the economic aspects is different where I am a rich, poor, I am earning this much. I have a big house, I have a two-wheeler, I have a car. These are all economic aspects, right? How this
Yes,
both
sir.
are merged. Okay. Am I poor because I am a Hindu in that country? Am I a poor
Yes, sir.
because I am a woman? I am uneducated because I am a from a particular community. So this link is called the socio-economic dimensions of Indian diaspora, right? It's
Yes, sir.
when you say socio-economic, this both are merged. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
here some historical accounts acknowledge Hindus' charity in digging wells as well as establishing rest stops to the trade routes for travelers. You find here in 1840s this was happening. In the trade route, trade that means people travel for a trade. They will go by horse or they will go by walk or something. They for them they have digged the well. The Hindus digged the well and
Yes.
established rest stops, probably for their taking rest or in like something for the trade routes for travelers in 1840s. Right? How far they thought about it, right? And according to Mohanlal in 1840s, out of 60,000 total population of Kabul, 2,000 were Hindus, right? Out of
Okay.
60,000, 2,000 were Hindus in Kabul. It provides ample proof that considerable Indian diaspora merchants lived in Kabul for a commercial activities.
Yes, sir.
But out of 62,000 is really a big number when you talk about diaspora, right? So
Yes, sir.
so the characterization, how that in 1860 or something, these many people are there just for trade, and they also contributed for the welfare of the community, regardless of the religion. So the Hindus were resided, you see, in when you describing about the characterization of Hindus, were reside in Kailat or principally mercantile speculators from the cities of Multan and Sikapur are much respected by both by government and people in general. Okay,
Yes.
nor in any molestation offered to them in free exercise of their religion. So no molestation, no harassment had happened because of that they are Hindus, right? So they do not, however, venture to bring their wives or female relation to their city. So they don't have any problem of bringing their uh, family to the city, and entire continent is good with the faith of the government. So there is a good socio-economic conditions prevailing in
Yes, sir.
those South Asian, the West Asian countries, right? So they have a kind of a good culture, and the trade is booming like anything because there is a good kind of atmosphere the government is supporting. So when you look into these three dimensions, the dominance of the Indian diaspora in Central Asia shows that through money lending they have built the relationship, and there is a good religious dimensions of the Indian diaspora able to worship their worship and practice their culture, practice their religion
Yes,
in a
sir.
small way to the big way, and the socio-economic dimensions of the Indian diaspora is good enough that they were able to do a good kind of contribution back to the society, and the government respected them. They were able to bring their families to their place, because taking the entire family to the other country, it is lot of thought process should go how far they are safe, how the education of the children and everything. So these are the
Yes,
various
sir.
dimensions that we have to look into the characteristics of Indian diaspora in those countries. So decline of Indian diaspora in Central Asia due to Russian domination. That is the one thing, and Russian direct role in
Yes,
the
sir.
rural credit system, because they brought a rural credit system to the Central Asian countries. Because of that, what happened? The
Yes,
Russia
sir. Indian dominance.
Indian domination will go down because money lending is stopped.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and due to industrial revolution, right? So Russia, because
Yes, sir.
today Russia is taking control of all these Southeast Asian, Central Asian countries for oil mining and everything. Due to that, they have started in the earlier period itself. So Russia came into picture of all the Central Asian countries, and they
Yes, sir.
started to play a main role by directly involving in money lending through rural credit system and taking control of the governments and everything, right? So
Yes, sir.
uh, this till here we stop it till here. Any doubt? Anything you want to discuss?
No, sir.
Right. So let us just sum up. So when you say this kind
Sir.
of pre-colonial period, like Southeast
Yes, sir.
Asia. So there are 11 countries that is listed, and we have rich
Yes, sir.
culture and contribution from India to there. And
Yes,
Southeast
sir.
Asia as a region, we have seen how as a region how it is divided as like mainland and island. That's our
Yes,
learning.
sir.
And Indian as a Southeast Asia, how we have a reason behind why this connectedness has happened, and the rich population of Indian origins and non-residents India, almost uh, 61 lakhs of people are there in the
Yes,
Southeast
sir.
Asia. It's as per 21st century. And the situation of Indian diaspora, how the countries through various laws, we have seen the example of Malaysia, Singapore, and Myanmar, various laws and policies, how these Indians are overwhelming like Singapore and how they are treated as a second class citizens in like countries like Malaysia and Myanmar. And we have also
Yes, sir.
seen the cultural base of immigration in a pre-colonial period, and we have understood what is culture as well as what is cultural lag. That means the difference between material culture and non-material culture. And we have seen how it
Yes,
has influenced like Garuda Indonesia, influence of Hinduism and Buddhism in those countries. We have seen how the temples are constructed as an example, and we have cultural exchange through trade and commerce. How the commerce and
yes, sir.
trade play a vital role of cultural exchange. So that we also talk about liberal education nowadays. What is liberal education? I should
Yes,
not
sir.
study only commerce. I should also study culture, so that I also should study sociology when I study commerce, because it helps me to understand how I have to do my business work by understanding the culture. Right,
Yes, sir.
very good. So the influence of migrants and diaspora, how it is influenced, the two predominant studies. What is diaspora is all about is an economic, cultural, political, emotional, and social investment that we have learned, and we have learned on Central Asia, which are the countries falls under Central Asia, and the picture
Yes,
of
sir.
displaying the trade, how it took place. And we have seen the emerging Indo-European cultural commercial contexts, Multanis and everything, and especially we have discussed on the Indian
Yes, sir.
diaspora, distinct characteristics of dominance of Indian diaspora in Central Asia, religious dimension and socio-economic dimensions of Indian diaspora.
Yes,
And
sir.
we have dominance of Indian diaspora in Central Asia, and how this decline has happened
Yes, sir.
due to
Decline.
Russia,
Russian domination.
Russian interference into the
Yes, sir.
Central Asian countries. So stop here. Any doubt you can ask? It's fine.
No, sir. All here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will share the PPT. Don't worry if you need. Or do you need a
Okay, sir.
PPT?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will share with sir. You will share in the group. Both.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.